Today I want to talk about wrists and the pluses and minuses of having lots of wrist set and no wrist set. Now there has been golfers on the planet that have done very well in this game with two very different styles of wrist angle. Let's take a Steve Stricker for instance. Steve is very much a very wooden golfer. Not much wrist set and plays the game awfully well, hitting the golf ball pretty darn straight. Then you've got golfers at the very other end of the spectrum. I actually mentioned him in a recent video, the John Daly's of this world, where they have lots of wrist set and they equally hit the golf ball awfully straight. So when we're playing the game, we see all of these different variables and we go, my goodness, where do I even start? Well, hopefully you start by hanging out with Good Golf Coaching YouTube channel. The opportunity that more wrist set gives is ultimately more clubhead speed, because the greater the angle between arms and club shaft, the more that club swings down at the bottom. But there's more to it than that. And the one ingredient that, or the one feeling that more wrist set creates is a bigger, easy for me to say, bigger disparity between what the handle is doing and what the club head is doing. So when we have more set, and I'll start in fact with no set. If I move my hands and the club head, at the moment they're moving one for one, aren't they? So wherever I move my hand, the club head is following. All of a sudden, when I move the club head, i.e. I have more wrist set, now all of a sudden, for every degree of wrist set the golfer has, the bigger disparity, the bigger difference between what the club head is doing and the hand is doing is created. So a bigger difference. So now all of a sudden, when I do the same drill, look at how much more the club head is moving when the club is being set. Now everyone's going, well, that's obvious, Stuart. It is obvious, but it therefore changes the feels that you have. And I get a lot of people on my channel talk about, oh, I'm doing this, Stuart, and this doesn't seem to be happening. There are so many layers to this, so many layers, and one individual video won't do it for you. Understanding the full picture that I try to paint on my channel is really your opportunity to grow as a golfer, which is why you want to hang out at any channel for 3 months as a minimum. Give it a chance, watch their content, apply it, solely their content, and see how you go. So what I wanted to just talk about here is that when you go back, and if you make your arms and the club shaft all in one line, so I'm not going to set the golf club at all. I'm just going to take it back without any set. I don't care whether the club head swings inside. I don't care whether the club head swings outside. But just line it up so that your lead arm and your club shaft is all in one line. And then what I want you to do, I want you to then swing through and hit a shot. Now, of course, the angle of attack will be light. The path should be fairly neutral. Now, depending on where you put the ball in your stance, if you do exactly the same drill and then you have the ball further forwards in your stance, too far forwards, and you make a swing, all of a sudden, because you're meeting it later in the swing, you'll see a club path that goes to the left and an angle of attack that's more up. If you do exactly the same thing and your golf ball is too far back in your stance, now all of a sudden you're meeting the ball earlier in the arc, so the path will be more to the right and your angle of attack will be more down. It's very, very simple. Excuse me. So by taking out all wrist set and putting the ball where you usually do, what you'll start to feel is the relationship the handle and the head has with each other doing exactly the same thing. Moving at the same rate, no wrist set, no energy, it'll feel fairly dead. Then what I want you to do is go back and then add in 20 degrees. now all of a sudden you can see that that club head has moved from being in line with my hands to now being back of my hands. And then what I want you to do is then swing through and make the same shot. And as we do this, what you'll start to feel is the energy start to come at you down at the bottom. But what you'll also do, so now we're going to go back, there was your 20, now we're going to add 40 degrees of wrist set. So there was 20 degrees, there's 40 degrees. Now we're going to go through and hit it. Now it's not important where the golf ball is going to go. All I want you to start to sense is how that golf club starts to want to swing down at the bottom. But not only that, I want you to understand that by taking out all of the wrist set and putting the handle and the head in the same spot, the handle has not changed, but the club head has. So the wrist set is actually creating the inside path the club head is going to travel on. Because when it's setting back of the handle, which is why when I talk about in the downswing the handle moving forwards, in most people's minds talk about it and go, oh my God, I don't see that happening. Oh my goodness, you're going to be outside in. That's all garbage, my friends. The more you now set the golf club, what you then have the opportunity to do is have 45 degrees of set at least, or 90 degrees of set, should I say, 90 degrees of set, and now all of a sudden we can pull the golf club and start to really create some energy down at the bottom of the golf ball. But now all of a sudden, where the handle is moving from and where the head is moving from are two very different points. And so therefore at that place, the handle and the head have got different jobs to do. They've moved out of the orientation of each other. And at that point, one for one no longer plays a role. So if you believe that the handle moving forwards is doing the same as what the head is doing when you've got wrist set in your downswing, you're very much mistaken. So this is a great way of you understanding what your golf ball will then have a tendency to do. So as you start to encourage more wrist set, what will start to happen is your club will then start to create more angle of attack. And the more angle of attack you create, the more opportunity the golf ball will have of going to the right. Now, if it starts to go to the right, you've got two options when you've got that much wrist set. Throw the wrist set away. If you throw the wrist set away, you can then have a chance of squaring the face up. No angle of attack, but you square the face up. Or, if you grip the club a little better and you put it in the same spot, then all of a sudden you might have a chance of getting it all lined up and still drawing. So the point that you then start to understand that this leverage and how much wrist set you need in your golf swing will absolutely match up to the grip and some good fundamentals. So this is just about reconciling what is wrist set, what is its purpose. The purpose of wrist set is to create speed. The more speed you have, the better you better navigate that handle. And if you understand that the handle track will have, therefore, more influence on where the head is going to move, all of the time you have more wrist set, and you'll feel like the two aren't connected. Whereas when you have no wrist set, now when you move the handle, all of a sudden they're moving one for one, which is why when you get down to impact and you have someone casting and throwing the golf club head away, it's them trying to A-square the face up, but it gives you the sensation that you've got more control because it's all one lever. Whereas when you're coming into the golf ball and you've got more set and you've got more swing of the club, all of a sudden you better make sure that the grip's right, the handle track's right, how you move is correct, and all of these different components. I'm an innovator. I'm not a replicator. I'm not someone that goes out and seeks out other golfers' video channels. And I see a lot of people talking about Mike Malaska. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. So whatever you see on my channel, this is me being as authentic to me as possible. I don't look for other golf coaches to inspire me. I look elsewhere in other mediums. I'm just doing the best version of me. And I'm just sharing that with you. So if you've got any insights on other golf coaches, that's great on you. But for me, I'm just sharing my beliefs and my thoughts on my channel. And hopefully, this lever system, this wrist set, is a really good insight into what you might want to consider as you move forwards. What type of golf swing have you got? And what channels you might want to go down during my coaching that will have an opportunity to improve your golf game. In 2025, I really want to hit 100,000 subscribers, and I'm going to really need your help to do it. So if you can.
If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed.
Share this video with anyone that might enjoy it, might enjoy my garbage, might enjoy my banter, but I really want to hit 100K by the end of the year and bring you even greater content, get out on the golf course and just be doing this as much as I possibly can. Thank you so much for being here. Do click the like button and maybe subscribe if you're a new watcher to the channel. This is Good Golf Coaching. Thank you so much for being here.